Welcome back, L127 here. So, back in our Journey to Cake series. So, in the previous part that I have done the bonus levels and some part of stage 3. In this part, I plan to finish most of the stage 3. Maybe not the bonus level. Our goal is to beat this level. Technically, beat it, but yeah, we don't beat a level. Uh, but we try to restart those in the first place. Before we move on, though, we are going to see what we can research first. Then let's research this range. Uh, this. At this point, I feel like raising the aiming speed of the snipers. We have some boxes, some money. Though this money is very minimal. And it's 1.8. Okay. So 27 minutes. This is a time quest. It's not very nice. And then after clearing the stage 3 and gaining access to stage 4, we will also be able to get more bounties. And that will be great. Since only having single bounty is very hard to get to the maximum efficiency. You would like to have at least 3 before actually be able to reach this high peak efficiency of the bounties easily. And specifically 3, because how bounty price scaling tends to work. Oh yeah, with the multi-shot, giving this the coin effect now is quite easily doable. Before you have to apply the same effect with the gauss, and it could be a bit more difficult. So you have to beat a boss with the coins effect for this achievement. Okay, I got an end game here. Okay, what we get? Some stuff. And the playing time quest with very minimal rewards. Well, that's sad. Yes. We got some boxes to open. Let's erase these. I don't have a matrix. I don't have money now. Okay. Well, I think it's time for my most concerning level. This one. What should I do first? I need the force wave bonus, so I will go with this first. To be fair, this will be one of the harder levels. It's also the first level I really felt struggling because of how I have played the game. Maybe. But one thing for sure though is that it can be very tricky, specifically with this wave, this type of wave with regular and armor. That proven to be the most difficult one to deal with. So there are some, and upcoming and goes up to 47 and 65. I'm gonna try to mine first, if I can even do that. We'll try, but it may not be a wise decision. This could totally be one of the worst level to deal with. The difficulty is much higher than the previous ones, in my opinion. And then there is a jet wave, 356. I mean, I may be able to get some damage, but I'm quite concerned about the later jet waves, where I cannot use the thunder. Well, at this point, we're going to use the thunder, so we can squeeze some extra money as well, because jets tend to draw a lot of money. At this point, I don't think I will be able to rely on the bounty. I may have to just sell it and then try my best to live. $550. Should I have upgraded this first? Oh jeez. Going to... I actually don't. Do we tank this wave? I may have to use rival in this one, along with the next wave. And this next wave is also very dangerous. Okay. I sold the bounty, so now it's really about trying to upgrade. Struggling with upgrading. Very painful. At this point, I may want to have not like this, a multi-shot. We're going to use fast to slow them down. I'll still be able to defeat them. At this point, I can't. Let's just keep attack speed. Okay. The upcoming ones, there are also the 60. I can only use the smoke bomb for this. Need to have more upgrade or bust. Okay, we were able to do it. It's quite difficult already. It really serves some level of difficulty. I'm not gonna lie. It's really hard. It's considerably more difficult compared to the previous levels that we have played. At least we'll be able to hold this. Otherwise, because radar 5 is considerably more difficult. At least now I don't have to worry about this level. What can I do? No. This one would be better if I raise the sniper. I don't want to use my matrix. Let's put the matrix here. Just exact amount though. At this point I have no money. I will raise the sniper because 3.6 is better with just the sniper. We're going to need a lot of snipers in this one. And there is also a pre-installed minigun that can be used before you actually unlock the minigun. So this one is considerably more easier to deal with compared to the previous one. There is also a new enemy type, the healers. So similar to armored, that gives regeneration aura. To non-healers, not nearby. And sometimes there are pure healer waves that are slow and very strong. And then here, the minigun is designed to be able to do increased damage, so higher efficiency against these new type of enemy. But the minigun was heavily nerfed due to the fact that now there's a magazine system to it, which makes it a very bad tower for soloing. I also heavily crippled the attack speed potential. You would like to raise its damage more, because the attack speed will be handicapped by this 6 seconds of reloading of the magazine once the magazine runs out, and that can be bad. So it's more of a support at this point, because now there is also the some tweaks to some of its abilities. So the heavy mechanism is what you can increase the magazine size. The heavy weapons get another utility to it, which gives the enemy vulnerability debuff, which upgrades by the tower from 10% to 30%. I don't think this can be raised. As this will be a good way to kind of help our minigun to get some progress, I think I will be doing that. This is certainly not the greatest place for Matrix, but I'm going to be using this here. The vulnerability debuff doesn't last for too long. At least it works, so we can kind of help the snipers, kind of assist the snipers by increase I think the damage increase with this, so like enemies take more damage from attacks. But first we need to get this minigun to level 4, and it's not getting experience. Probably most of the experience earned is from the passive experience. And that's bad. And this swarm of regulars is not making things easy. At least we can more efficiently tackle the enemies. And I already run out of money. Trying to handle this is not a very economic decision. At this point, I am breaking my economy with this single, but not really the single button press. I am using a key combination on my keyboard for that. Otherwise, you just use you hold the button to upgrade it. But yeah, you will see that the debuff icon, the double down arrow icon, that is the vulnerability debuff inflicted on the enemies from the minigun. So at this point, we just basically raise our snipers. This one is considerably more simple than the 3.5. No flying enemies, no fast enemies, so we could just simple this out with just the sniper. There are only 2 towers as far as aware. That is 150% to healers. The other one is unlocked quite lately and is considered as not a very good tower. So, yeah. At this point I have 7 snipers, which cost quite a considerable amount. It's costing me 3,000. At least it holds. Well, not here now. That's certainly not. The regular waves are roaming around. They're not nice. At this point, I'm going to just go all in with my mind. I'm going to just raise it. Try to see how long we can hold this now. Yeah, these healers, they are very strong and they have a lot of health. And they move quite slowly. As I say, these pure healers tend to be supporting the incoming, the upcoming waves instead. Maybe I'll hold this. Oh god. Everyone to first. I think we carry that. Okay. Certainly, I cannot get to 89. Though I don't think the trophy is that good. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, 100 matrix for that milestone. Okay. Obviously, because I don't have that much matrix to hold. Okay, so we unlocked the minigun. And yeah, it's not that good. Though I don't know if it's actually going to be needed. I think we just leave that. It could be a support. Though I don't think the upgrade level 4 or 5 increases range. It's not that very useful. Okay, so 3.7. Maybe I need to waste the multi-shot for this. So let me delay. Okay. Again, broke. So 3.7 first. What's the first wavelength? Okay. So we're going to implement ciphers here. We could have a blast here. And then a minigun here to get its level 4. I have no research on these towers. I have very minimal research on the freeze. I think I only have increased one of its maximum upgrade. Again, I have been primarily focusing on the triangles. At least it kinda holds, so I'm going to get bounty instead of venom. This level has jets, so I may need an anti-air for this. So let me implement that. Before I remember, the healer's debut level was not 3.6. It was in 3.5, and it was horrible still. 3.5 being very bad level. Being a very annoying level as well, because the varying enemy types. Generally, it's very painful to deal with. And thankfully, I don't have to deal with that for now. Send you to first. Send you to first. Okay, so this one has a very limited factor, so we certainly will place this here. And that's... Just the first pure 50. Again, the healer jets, the jets from the jet healer combination is weaker in general, so they tend to be more easily dealt with. But not this type. Certainly not this type. But the pure jets are stronger, because the jets gets to have more health, and they also tend to be more difficult to deal with. At this point, I still haven't reached the maximum efficiency for the bounties. At least not really close to. I don't really know, because like monetary system, the only thing that is kind of yeah, this is quite bad. We don't have much of jets for upcoming waves, but these fast enemies are going fast. They're going past. We certainly need to get more upgrades on these towers. Maybe give a balance for this multi-shots, so we can kind of help this out. slowly raising this. It is certainly more difficult when there are types that you can only do, like some towers can only do some part of it, and then the other towers can only do the other part of it. It certainly makes the economy worse. So that's why 3.6 is also like much easier, because you can just simple this out with just a sniper. But this level, you need more types of towers to deal with it. Whatever kind you're dealing with this, and this is bad. Okay, the next part is we have healers. One, two, five slowness. Give up. Just give up. Okay. What can I do next with this tree? Should we go for this route? At this point, because I have this modifier bounty, maybe I should just go this way. So there is the experience mod. So I have mentioned this a few parts ago, that we have the experience modifier. If you go the normal way, you have to reach at least unlock 5.3 to be able to get the modifier experience. It's very far. And it basically takes resources from the miners and give the experience to towers. What did it exactly do it though? So first is that, okay, I will demonstrate this. So here is the experience mod. So I take the miner and the tower here. So what it's going to do when this 10-second period, it's going to update every 10 seconds. And when the 10-second cooldown is when the 10-second cooldown goes off, and then it's going, so it's considered a check. It's considered a check, and it's going to take the resources from the miner. Per tower. So the more towers they are, and then the more resources required for each miner to be validated for this next 10-second period to have the for a mining operation done, to be given experience. And it's going to give the experience, regardless this amount of experience, regardless of the quality of the resource mined. So the best resource for this will certainly be the scallop because you can mine most of it compared to other resource types. And then it's going to distribute this mined experience to even equally, I believe, to the other towers. And the amount is, since the amount is distributed is evenly split to the towers, it would tend to be best to be done with just a single to feed the to experience modifier feed just a single one of these towers. I don't think I need to do this at this moment. We don't really have that high experience cap at this moment, and this is the next boss level. So for this, I would like to raise the Cypher because I will be primarily using the Cypher for this. Most likely, I don't have money. I have bug system. Okay, 3.8. I would like to really raise the Cypher for this, but there are fast wave as well. But this fast wave only go to the boss wave, since the boss can create enemies and can create fast enemies. So there are a few things about the constructor boss, as it is only going to be able to create the enemies depending on the portal it got spawned. So in this case, it's so it has two types of spawning. So the periodical spawning, which only goes the first half of the map, I believe, or the path. And the other type of spawn is based on its health. So the one that spawns based on the periodical spawn is always going to spawn a set of regular, fast, and strong enemy. And then the health-based spawn is going to be spawned based on the portal that it got spawned. So it's going to be dependent on the types of the enemies that spawn the boss. And I believe the one in 5.8, which is just the boss, I think it's just the basic 3 enemies. So in this case, its health-based spawn is going to be able to spawn 5, just these 5 types of enemies. So we will see fast enemies from in the boss wave. So the first thing is I would like to place these multi-shots here because at this point it will be best investment to just let it to, so we can sell it later. But I don't think one will be enough. And at this point we're just not very good at this. And another thing is implementing these blasts. We could have the minigun to assist. The power is kind of useful for the sniper because it increases the aiming speed. As I aim at a point at this powerful, as you can see, it does increase its aiming speed. So we would like to have that so we kind of be able to do better against the slightly crowded enemies. But another way to help this out is implementing penetrating bullets, so I can do slightly better with the crowd as well. Because at this point, the passive experience is very minimal. It's quite marginal. I don't think just simply leveling up to level 1 would do much. Also because we live quite short, we don't get to have a lot of time to let that passive experience flow. I can't really keep up with the economy. That's bad. Let's improve this. Okay. Yeah, it was close. Not very nice. But yeah. Also when I just decided to be broke. I don't know. Anyways, our goal is 69. It's more difficult to reach though, because you know there are a lot of ways to deal with it. It simply isn't a very simple task. Also because this kind of wave set exists. Also, it doesn't really allow you to put the the damage and attack speed mods in this level, because a lot of the platform placement is diagonal, and it doesn't really help because these type only gives the negative effects for those places on at the corners of those modifiers. So it doesn't really help. At this point I feel like we're going to sell out. We're going to have a bit more towers, and at this point this is really struggling. We're just going to do this because otherwise I don't think I will be able to hold this. Because those are under whatever, you know, those combined with it, it's just bad. And regular wave is just bad. I don't know why regular waves just made so bad. Certainly they're made to be bad. Sanctify is another regular wave at the point probably Firestorm. Or we can also use Windstorm, because we still have that alone. Maybe I should do this here, because, you know, I can't use Firestorm on these. And the next wave is the low density storm. We're barely able to hold this and get the next wave milestone. But 83 is certainly impossible. I am 100% certain that it's literally impossible, so I'm just gonna keep spawning waves at this point. Okay. So that is the stage 3, except for the bonus wave, which I would like to at least try to unlock the Tesla before I try to do that. And then we got this thing, which allows us to get some stuff, since we get access to stage 4, and then we get these things. So with that in mind, we also get some of these purple boxes if we get the search down first 8 levels. And then we unlock this new resource. And as you can see here, and then we will be able to unlock Overload here. Before it was around here, I believe. But now, the Overload got tweaked now. Now the Overload is in the second season, in season 2. It kind of increases score from everything. Also increases the mining much more than currently are. the enemies and the overload is based on the period. So you are technically trying to survive the overload back then. Because it gives the 20-second and they stack. So the 20-second period for the, or probably shorter. I think the duration used to, I think it was like 20-second for max normal. But yeah, there's a period for this overload, and you will be trying to survive this. And then there's going to be the stack of 10 overload, which lasts what, like 200 seconds, and your mission is try to survive this dangerous overload period, because the enemies get tougher and faster. Specifically, faster being one of the more difficult things to deal with, because towers tend to miss a lot with enemies being extraordinarily fast. Now, the overload is now made so that they take more damage. So they kind of have a defense percentage, so they take less damage, technically. Because the NDPS doesn't really go up if you try to go with higher damage setup. And yeah, it's that they take less damage. And they also take less stun duration or whatever that will slow them down. I'm not sure about the damage over time base or some other debuffs. Not sure about that. But one thing I'm very certain is that the stun and like the freezing durations, they get shorter for this. And now, instead of you trying to survive, now it's going to last until enemies reach the base, and the level decreases by 1 whenever an enemy enters the base. So now it's not really about surviving the overload. It's more about maintaining the overload. So try to maintain as long as possible. And during this period, you will also quite likely to use some abilities. So it's more about trying to get the efficient use of the abilities. Also because the enemies go harder, the waves go harder faster, I believe. Which means you will likely not going to be able to use up all your abilities if you don't really do this in the overload period. And in endless, also in endless, the additional difficulty, so the additional endless difficulty will also increase some additional mining speed. This part doesn't stack, so it's just a difficulty bonus to it when you use the overload. And you can stack 15 in endless, I believe. The only thing now, the only thing that overload would increase score is by increased mining speed, I believe, at this point. So it's not really like the game-changing score earning mechanic, but still important for some, especially for leaderboarding. You still need overloading in many stages. And we unlocked the test, I believe. So we could try to unbox this, and did get some, which is good. Okay, so the next thing is that we can unlock this next thing. The quick sword gives the magnet. I think this is good with the splash tower, but yeah, we're not going to be using the splash tower at this point. And the Dacastro's algorithm, SPF. Okay, anyways, now we get the access to actual bounty modifiers that we can access, and at this point we would like to have one additional, so we get 3. And that's going to be the research that is going to be good for now. The next thing I would like to do is to try to unlock the venom tower. And this is done by progressing through this level, and this level is pain. It's pain. It's yeah, I can't describe how painful this level looks like. It's really that painful. I don't like this level. This level tends to be having a lot of problems to deal with. This level has a lot going, and I really would have hoped this 3 bounty would have supported me. No healers or like some really annoying enemies. Well, not really like annoying enemies because we haven't encountered those yet. But yeah, we have armored. At least it's kind of split for the regular or armored or strong plus armor combination because they are split paths. But split paths tend to distract our towers, so they cannot really efficiently take care of the enemies because they cannot really rotate that fast. So it's one of the limits. So they cannot really efficiently just tackle the enemies whenever this type of wave happens. And only these 2 types of wave sets. Because I don't think there are other cases where like both portals will be spawning enemies. So like this next one is one of those, and it tends to be distracting the waves. Preferably the multi-shuttle will tackle the bottom path whenever the regulars come, but you know, it's hard to control social behavior. Because we only have that many targeted varieties. At least the multi-shot will be able to do good here for these fast enemies. And we also don't need the additional coverage for really that many coverage for the helis because they can already hit the helis by default, so that is good. And at this point I would like to install this minigun to kind of help this out, so I can try to get the vulnerability bonus. And at this point I need to install some towers, so or like miners. At this point I can't do anything about this. I should probably put it as instance, but I should probably put a factor manager. Also because this is laser. And I can also use the mining mods for that. I'm gonna add another sniper here. And okay, I need to start spending money. Otherwise I'm just going to go broke and cannot build on my bounty. And these fast enemies are women. Well, primarily because they are low density fast enemies. They are not nice. They are never nice. These low density fast, they just are not crowded so like those who tend to be very good against fast enemies because most of them are crowd control. And it doesn't really make much of efficiency because you know crowd control towers would be better if they're fighting against crowds than single targets. And this is not looking very good. Oh jeez. It's oh my, it's really an OG's moment. Oh dear. Okay, this is nothing nice. Our goal is 66 waves, I believe. It's quite long and it's not nice. We're gonna have a freezing here. I haven't really raised freezing. At least now we are going to be able to unlock access to another tower after this level. And then we are going to be putting focus on these newer towers. Well, at least for the next few. Not all of them. Well, maybe all of them, but yeah. It's really situation for each of these towers, to be fair. And the fast runs are not nice. Maybe I should change this to an offensive build. I don't think I can handle I can hold it until I can get 3 bounties. Or maybe I just playing bad. Maybe I just really playing bad because I am supposed to put this factor miner here so I can obtain more factor. Maybe I just trying to time greed to try to get the things done as soon as possible. And then wasn't really looking towards those things that I was supposed to be done. What I was supposed to do. And at this point, I feel like we can't really hold for the third bounty. I'm not even sure if I can actually complete the factor mission. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's not gonna be very nice because I may not actually be able to complete the game factor quest. Forget about the bounty, even though that I can only reuse 2 because I wasn't really able to do it. I wasn't even able to maintain more than 2,000. So I'm trying to put this bounty. Now I just try to live. And then, yeah, this is not very nice. Oh yeah, the enemies, oh my god, okay. Yeah, this is nothing, this situation is getting much worse now. Okay. May not be the best decision either, because the strong exist. Come on, at least hold it to there we can get the quest. Okay. Yeah, that was not very great. What are the next waves? Not sure about this. It might not work. I don't even know if I can hold this wave. We can only hope that they hold this wave. they should be able to, I guess. And then next is the air wave. Certainly, I will be firestorming on this. And at this point, I just want to quickly spot the waves. I don't even care what this is. I can just finish this. Okay. Anyways, so that is for the one. We could raise this attack speed, or I should put focus on this damage. I will save it for now. So now we unlock the venom tower. I will probably put that to the next part, as we have done quite a bit for our for this part. Now we managed to go through the stage 3, and then part of stage 4 to unlock this next tower. And that's pretty much it for this part. So if you want to follow this series, consider subscribing and turn on the notifications, and I will see you in the next part. Thanks for watching.